Hello and welcome to News at 2 on Ogun State Television. I am Ayemi Takuro. President Bola Tinubu has earmarked 5.41 trillion naira for security, the single largest allocation in the proposed 2026 budget. It marks the third consecutive year that defense and security spending has taken priority since the administration began presenting national budgets in November 2023. Tinubu disclosed this while presenting the 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly, where he said national security remained the foundation of economic growth, investment, and social stability. Under the proposal, defense and security will receive 5.41 trillion ahead of infrastructure, education, and health, reaffirming the pattern established in the 2024 and 2025 budget, where security consistently attracted the highest sectorial funding amid persistent threats from terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. The Federal Executive Council had earlier approved the 2026 budget framework at an emergency meeting presided over for the first time by Vice President Kashim Shettima. The Council pegged total expenditure at 58.47 trillion, with heavy spending pressures from debt service, wages, and security obligations. Breaking down the 2026 proposal, Tinubu said the security votes will be deployed to modernize the armed forces, strengthen intelligence-driven policing, enhance border surveillance, and support joint operations among security agencies. He also announced a major reset of Nigeria's national security architecture, including the establishment of a new national counter-terrorism doctrine anchored on unified command, intelligence coordination, and community stability.
We will usher in a new era of criminal justice. We will show no mercy, I repeat, to those who commit or support acts of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and other violent crimes. Our administration is resetting the national security architecture and establishing a new national counter-terrorism doctrine, a holistic redesign anchored on unified command, intelligence gathering, community stability, and counter-insurgency. This doctrine will fundamentally change how we confront terrorism and other violent crimes. Under this new architecture, any armed group or gun-wielding non-state actors operating outside the state authority will be regarded as terrorists.
Under the proposed framework, Tinubu declared that all armed groups operating outside state authority, including bandits, militias, kidnappers, armed gangs, and violent cult groups, will henceforth be classified as terrorists along with their financiers, informants, and political or community enablers. Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun has charged girls and young women to boldly pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM, describing education as a powerful tool for shaping the future of individuals and society. Mrs. Abiodun gave the charge while speaking at the Remo Women of Excellence Empowerment Program for Girls in STEM. Our reporter Margaret Okunola has more details.
The program, which attracted over 500 girls in science from across Remo land, is designed to inspire and increase female participation in science and technology-driven careers. In her address, wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun avails the opportunity to fault the long-held notion that technology and engineering-related professions are reserved for men, stressing that gender does not determine intelligence, creativity, or innovation.
Your journey in STEM may present challenges, but I urge you to look at these challenges as opportunities. Do not be afraid to break barriers. Every great innovation comes from someone who was brave enough to challenge the status quo and try something new. When you encounter a barrier, see it as a puzzle to be solved, not a wall to turn back from.
Mrs. Abiodun highlights the importance of female role models, noting that seeing successful women in STEM careers helps young girls believe that such paths are achievable. The founder of Remo Women of Excellence, who is the former special advisor to Ogun State's governor, now a registrar and chief executive officer, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Ronke Shoyombo, describes education as a superpower that no one can take away, while advising the girls to remain committed to their studies, especially in STEM subjects, as a foundation for future success.
STEM isn't just about formulas and laboratories, it's about problem solving, creativity and innovation. You also start thinking of the problems we have in Nigeria today. Don't just go to the school for the sake of it. What is it that you want to, what is that problem that we have that you want to bring to an end through STEM? Pursuing STEM doesn't mean you have to wear a lab coat. It means you are equipping yourself with the superpowers of the 21st century.
There was a chemistry practical session as Mrs. Shoyombo affirms that Remo Women of Excellence Empowerment Program continues to serve as a platform for nurturing confidence, ambition, and leadership among young girls, in line with efforts to close the gender gap in STEM fields. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
The Chancellor of Mountain Top University, Dr. Daniel Kolawole Olukoya, has described the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, as a pillar of support towards the advancement of education, not only in the university, but in the state education sectors at large. The Chancellor, who is also the General Overseer of Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministry, during the 7th convocation ceremony and 10th anniversary of the institution, appreciated the immense contributions and proactive investments of the Governor to reposition the entire education sector in the state. Olukoya lauded the initiatives of Prince Dapo Abiodun over the years by awarding the best graduating students of the institution with a sum of 2 million naira as a way of encouraging and promoting excellence performance among learners at all levels in the state. Reverend Olukoya charged the graduates to be leaders who will reshape the nation, be a solution to its challenges, use the certificates as tools to build a better country, be professionals whose impact would be positively recognized, as well as be proud ambassadors of the school and the nation, Nigeria.
Sincere appreciation to His Excellency, Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Abiodun, for his strategic support for education and his goodwill towards Nottingham University.
In his address, the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, said his administration is firmly committed to sustaining a secure, supportive, and enabling environment in which institutions can flourish, attain excellence, and make meaningful contributions to national development. Prince Abiodun, represented by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aripapu, applauded the vision, leadership and foresight of the university, its unwavering commitment to academic excellence, moral discipline and the holistic development of students, saying Mountain Top University has continued to play a significant role in human capital development, not only within Ogun State, but across the nation.
Of this administration and our consistent support for Mountain Top University's convocation ceremonies over the years. I am pleased to announce a cash award of 2.5 billion to the best academic students
Or encouraged graduates to uphold the values of integrity, innovation and service as they step into the wider society, charging them to allow their conduct and achievements reflect the ideals of their alma mater and strive to be agents of positive and sustainable change wherever they find themselves. Representing his convocation lecture titled Dream Big, Start Small, Grow Fast, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Basi Eno, highlighted drug abuse, alcoholism, and cultism as major challenges to desired growth. Activities continue on day 2 of the Nigeria for Women program Scale Up project, meeting with the World Bank as key stakeholders, assessed progress recorded so far, and fine-tuned strategies for strengthening women's economic empowerment among participating states. The engagements focus on performance review, sustainability planning, and expanding the impact of the program, with renewed commitments from governments and development partners to improving the livelihoods of women through targeted interventions. Ikem Agu has the report.
Day 2 of the Nigerian for Women Scale-Up Project engagements with the World Bank centers on performance assessments, sustainability plans, and strategies for expanding the program's impacts. The meeting brings together officials from the federal and state ministries of women affairs, state project coordinators, development planners, and representatives of the World Bank. Participants reviewed project implementation milestones, challenges encountered, and success stories from women groups and cooperatives benefiting from the program. In her remarks, the state project coordinator of the Nigerian for Women Scale-Up Project, Mrs. Bolanle Fadairo, says the initiative continues to improve women's livelihoods through access to grants, skill acquisition, and financial inclusion, adding that the government remains committed to women-focused development programs.
Other states might be having challenges with government understanding, but we have a government that are ready to listen, to learn, and to adhere strictly to the procedure of the World Bank. And it is what made the work to be seamless in the states.
The meeting also featured technical sessions, interactive discussions, and policy recommendations aimed at strengthening project delivery and expanding coverage to more vulnerable women. Participants expressed optimism that outcomes of the engagement will further enhance collaboration between government and development partners in achieving sustainable women empowerment.
That is the state project coordinator. They were able to get the state government back into the project. And other one is the team. The way they work as a team has really made the project to be well acceptable by the people of Ogun State. So our take home from Ogun State is how we can make our state government to buy in by giving them the right information about the project, and also for us to work as a team to get the results, if possible, to even get more results than the Ogun State.
I would say that it was excellent when we came. We were even taken to the LGs of implementation. And those were the first steps of learning for us that we took back home, and it really helped us. We were able to build on that, and it was so informative, sincerely, and it was good for Ekiti State.
They reaffirmed that the Nigerian for Women Program Scale-Up Project, supported by the World Bank, remains a strategic intervention designed to reduce poverty, promote gender equality, and boost economic opportunities for women across the country. Ikem Agu, Ogtv News.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has recommended the outgoing Accountant General of the State Treasury, Mr. Thomas Babatunde Aregbesola, for high public office in retirement. The former Nigerian leader, who was speaking at a retirement reception for Mr. Aregbesola, echoed the submission of Reverend Father Emmanuel Oriyomi, who described the retiree as a highly resourceful, cerebral, and consummate accountant at a church service held at St. Andrew's Catholic Church, Olumore, Abeokuta. Fowora Adesonwu has the report.
It was a total shutdown. We are not at the church service and reception for Thomas Babatunde Aregbesola, a retiring permanent secretary and accountant general of the State Treasury, Ogun State. Where else would you have been? Top government officials, socialites, and businessmen had a date to honor the man who the cleric described as a tool in the Church of God and the dependable hand in the service of Ogun State.
You are not the one we are celebrating. No? We are celebrating the God who had made you somebody in his church and in his states.
The Secretary to Ogun State Government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, attested that Mr. Aregbesola was a team player.
His Excellency would also like me to thank you for your diligence. Your position was very, very sensitive. And the success in that position is not how much you know. It is the maturity and the aura to carry that position. And so, His Excellency, we also like to say thank you.
The voice of the Reverend Father Emmanuel Oriyomi and that of Mr. Tokunbo Talabi became more pronounced as the former Nigerian President, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, eulogized an Accountant General of the State Treasury, while the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noemo Salakoridele, believes Aregbesola had raised the bar for his successors.
Successful career, and you're living your head held up high, with your reputation written clearly in gold for all to see.
The head of service, Mr. Kennedy Onosoya, and 7 commissioners in Ogun State say Mr. Aregbesola came, saw, and conquered. The celebrant and his wife were full of appreciation for the overwhelming goodwill and support received from the people, various organizations, and civil servants of Ogun State government.
I'm excited and I feel fulfilled, even out of service now. I feel fulfilled for the great recognition and honor that I have received through people.
To enjoy, to explore, to relax, to travel, to enjoy myself, and to always give glory to God, and to work for God.
It was no doubt a carnival-like retirement celebration with dozens of bands on the stand at the Furora at the Sonwo. Ogtv News.
Members of the Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Finance and Appropriation, led by Honorable Musefiu Lamidi, have lauded the Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development for surpassing its 2025 revenue targets and sustaining effective collaboration with the Assembly towards achieving a well-planned environment. The House Committee gave the commendation when the State Commissioner in charge of the Ministry, Town Planner Tunji Odunlami, led other agencies under the Ministry to defend the 2026 budget proposals before the state lawmakers. They urged the Ministry to deepen the synergy with the Ministries of the Environment, as well as Works and Infrastructure, to strengthen coordinated planning, enhance service delivery, and ensure sustainable urban development across the state. Responding, Mr. Odulami stated that the Ministry's 2026 budget will focus on proactive development planning aimed at creating a conducive environment for socio-economic growth through sustainable fiscal planning and orderly urban development. In a related development, the committee also commended the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, led by the Commissioner, Engineer Ade Akinsoya, for its collaboration with the State House of Assembly in delivering infrastructural projects to aid the socio-economic development of the state. Journalists have been urged to strike a balance between holding the government accountable and partnering with them to drive economic development. The call was made by the Dean of the Faculty of Social Science, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Professor Dele Odunlami, at the maiden annual lecture at the Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Our reporter, Margaret Okunola, was at the NUJ Secretariat, Iweroyin, Abeokuta, venue of the annual lecture where notable individuals portrayed the narrative. Her report.
It is no longer news that the media plays a vital role as an agent of propagating government policies and promoting economic prosperity in Nigeria. And such responsibility yielded the media its tag of the Fourth Estate. This informed the maiden edition of an annual lecture put together by the Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation Chapel of the Nigeria Union of Journalists.
Nigeria is today not going down the drains freely because journalists have continued to engage the government.
Why it is the duty of the media to set agenda for the government and the society at large, we are going to see a role reversal today. As this year's lecture, we put men of the profession on the spot.
Speaking on the topic, the media as agents for propagating government's policies and development was dissected by the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Professor Dele Odunlami, who calls for the amendment of the Act establishing Ogtv and OGBC to make them truly public broadcast stations, and for special salary packages and welfare to be instituted for staff to attract the best brains.
Government too should extend its hands of fellowship to the media in terms of adequate support through funding. This is more so because usually the cost price of too much focus on government coverage is the corresponding loss of audience who prefer more aggressive adversarial and entertainment content.
The special guest of honor, who is also the head of service in Ogun State, Mr. Kende Onosanya, was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Strategy, Alhaji Wahid Adeshino.
We need to do this kind of thing and do more of it too, so as to sensitize this upcoming generation of journalists so that they will know what exactly it takes to be one.
Royal fathers and notable dignitaries present corroborate the narrative, saying that though the media is placed as the force of the realm, its actions and inactions can mar or make the fortunes of the entire realm.
When we look at media and government, in its simplest term, it's just like husband and wife. That is, the government as husband and the media as wife.
I must commend the organizers of this event for the careful choice of topic of the day. As a profession and trade, journalism is in search of the truth. The truth shall set us all free.
When you wink in the dark, nobody sees you. And that is the very essence of media. And that's why government and the media, they are like Siamese twins.
Gift items were presented to guests present for their contributions. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
Inclusion, accessibility and equal rights for persons who are deaf takes center stage in Abeokuta as the Ogun State Association of the Deaf, OGSAD, marks 35 years of sustained advocacy. The anniversary celebration, held alongside the end of the year get-together, brought together members of the deaf community, disability rights advocates and stakeholders to renew calls for the full recognition of sign language as a fundamental human right. Olaide Oloye has the report.
For 35 years, the Ogun State Association of the Deaf remains a voice for inclusion, dignity and equal opportunities for persons who are deaf and hard of hearing in Nigeria. Gathered at the Nigeria Union of Teachers Hall in Abeokuta, members of the association and disability right advocated reflect on a journey defined by resilience, unity and consistent engagement with the government and society. The event, termed No Human Right Without Sign Language Right, reinforces the need for sign language interpretation across key sectors, including education, healthcare, the justice system and the governance, as a pathway to equality and social inclusion.
We will showcase the talent of our community, share stories of resilience and inspire hope of a bright future.
They need to have access to sign language service during any public program, voting, immunization, healthcare, delivery, whatever. So the government need to look into it. There are some documents that back this up. So the government need to assess and see how they can implement all those ideas.
The chairman of Ogun State Teaching Service Commission, Apostle Abiodun Sonyaolu, represented by the Director, Administration and Supply at TESCOM, commends the Ogun chapter for its contributions to disability advocacy and reaffirms the Commission's commitment to continued partnership in advancing sign language rights.
Nigeria is not an exclusive nation. It's a nation that is also a signatory to many treaties on international conventions and covenants on human rights as far as the right of people with disability is concerned. So all of this, they must also know that they must carry the people with disability, including the deaf, along.
Also speaking, the National Vice President of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, Comrade Yinka Folari, stresses that the protection of human rights remains incomplete without guaranteed access to sign language for the deaf community.
I am confident that together
together, we can build an Ogun State where inclusion is not just a policy statement, but a lived reality for all.
The celebration ended with award presentation and the distribution of gift items to members, alongside a renewed resolve to strengthen advocacy effort in the year ahead, underscoring the message that there can be no true human rights without sign language rights. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
And just before we leave, in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, remember that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of your dreams. And that's it for News at 2. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.